Liz Truss resigns. Candidates to become Prime Minister must have at least 8 nominations. Liz Truss has resigned as Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs in the wake of David Davis's resignation from the cabinet over Theresa May's Chequers plan. Under the terms of the Fixed-Term Parliaments Act 2011, a candidate to replace her as Prime Minister must have at least 8 nominations from parliamentarians to even stand in the contest to become leader of the Conservative Party and Prime Minister. With this in mind, here's what you need to know about Liz Truss replacement candidates. A summary of today's developments. Liz Truss resigned as Prime Minister after just 45 days in office. Truss will be the shortest-serving Prime Minister in UK history. She said, "I recognise though given the situation I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party." Nominations for the next PM open tonight and will close at 2 p.m. on Monday. Candidates will need a minimum of 100 nominations to proceed to the ballot. There will be an indicative vote of MPs once there are 2 candidates. The first ballot of MPs will then be held between 3:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. on Monday. If there are 3 candidates, the candidate with the fewest number of votes will be eliminated. The result will be announced at 6 p.m. on Monday. If a second vote is needed, indicative, this will be held between 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Monday. The result will be announced at 9 p.m. If there are 2 candidates, the Tory membership will get to vote again and a winner will be picked by Friday. Labour leader Keir Starmer said his party has a manifesto ready to go if there is an early election. He told the BBC if the Tories were to replace Liz Truss with Boris Johnson, that would make the case for an early election even stronger. The Liberal Democrats say the Conservative Party should block Boris Johnson from standing again. A senior MP in Rishi Sunak's previous leadership campaign said they expect him to stand again, according to The Guardian's Jessica Elgott. Kemi Badenoch, Suella Braverman are also expected to stand as leadership candidates. Michael Gove and Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, have been ruled out of the leadership race. Speculation over who will replace her. Boris Johnson, Jeremy Hunt and Michael Gove are speculated as being possible replacements for Liz Truss. All 3 of them currently have a sufficient number of MPs backing them. If Boris were to replace her, then his position as Foreign Secretary would be up for grabs. Amber Rudd is also possible replacement for Truss. She has over 50 MPs supporting her, but is more likely to become Home Secretary than PM, due to concerns that she lacks experience of Brexit negotiations. Theresa May and Amber Rudd officially support Andrea Leadsam's bid. Both Theresa May and Amber Rudd today announced they will be supporting Andrea Leadsam's bid for Prime Minister. This followed a weekend of deliberation over which candidate should be allowed to go on to lead Britain as it continues in its uncertain exit from Europe. Rudd had supported Boris Johnson, but decided he was not fit for duty as Prime Minister after his comments about Obama's Kenyan heritage led him being accused of racism. Fox endorses Johnson bid. Johnson said he is absolutely determined to fight for a new Brexit referendum. "We need now a leader who can unite our party, our country, and deliver Brexit. I believe that person can only be me," Johnson said in an interview with The Sun newspaper. Fox said Wednesday that he believes Johnson is by far Britain's best choice for Prime Minister and encouraged colleagues to back his bid. Whittaker says she won't stand against Boris Johnson but warns party it faces electoral suicide if it elects an unelected leader without broad backing. A showdown is looming in Downing Street over who should be allowed to succeed Theresa May. The Conservative Party's chief whip, Julian Smith, announced on Wednesday that Tory leadership candidates must receive at least 8 MPs nominations or be forced out of race by Tuesday. The new bar for entry could shut out contenders such as Dominic Raab, Andrea Leadsom and Esther McVey. All 3 failed to get on last month's ballot paper when they won just a handful of backers between them. Vote Leave director joins Tory MPs in backing Boris Johnson bid. Dominic Cummings has said he will support Boris Johnson's bid for number 10. It comes as other leading Tories have thrown their weight behind Michael Gove or Amber Rudd. Meanwhile, Theresa May is unlikely to get enough nominations and Liam Fox could miss out if he fails to secure them by tonight. The deadline for submitting a letter of support is 5 p.m. today, with MPs set to whittle down a list of 8 candidates before voting on June 10.